Imagine waking up to discover you can read minds, finally knowing why your dog stares at you while you eat, or teleporting to Paris for breakfast because croissants taste better when you skip Transportation Security Administration. Maybe you heal from a paper cut faster than it takes to find a Band-Aid. Sounds like X-Men level drama, right? But hold on to your spandex tights, we're diving into the science behind these superhuman perks. The X gene, Marvel's genetic jackpot. The X gene, Marvel's ultimate genetic jackpot. In the Marvel universe, it's the reason mutants like Wolverine, Storm, and Jean Grey can do the impossible. This little twist of DNA, nestled on the 23rd chromosome, is the golden ticket to superpowers that defy logic and physics. Whether it's shooting lasers from your eyes, summoning hurricanes, or reading minds like a bestseller, the X gene is the gift that keeps on giving, at least for comic book characters. But here's the catch. Real-world genetics isn't so straightforward. In reality, there isn't one magical gene that lets you control the weather or sprout adamantium claws. Human traits from eye color to athletic ability are the result of a complex symphony played by countless genes working together, with a little help from your environment. So while the X gene may make for jaw-dropping storytelling and epic battles, it's not something you'll stumble across in a lab or in your 23 andom report. But hey, that doesn't mean we can't dream of unlocking our inner mutant, right? After all, isn't science fiction often the birthplace of tomorrow's science fact? Clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, the real-world mutation machine. Move over. Sci-Fi movies. Clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats associated protein 9 is here, and it's the closest thing we've got to a real-life mutation machine. This groundbreaking tool has scientists geeking out for good reason. Imagine editing DNA as easily as you'd edit a selfie, cutting out all the flaws and enhancing the good stuff. That's what clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats does, acting like molecular scissors that can snip out bad genes and replace them with better ones. Forget typos. Clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats is out here proofreading humanity's genetic code. Here's the lowdown. Clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats uses a guide RNA like a GPS to navigate to the exact spot in the DNA that needs fixing. Once there, the associated protein 9 enzyme swoops in and makes a precise cut. After that, scientists can work their magic deleting, tweaking, or adding new genetic material. The possibilities. Mind-blowing. It's already been used to correct genetic defects like sickle cell anemia and even restore sight to those with inherited blindness. But wait, what about superpowers? Could clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats unlock abilities straight out of a Marvel movie? Theoretically, yes. Imagine gifting yourself night vision like an owl or muscles like Captain America. Want to never get sick? Or maybe you've got your eye on a gene tweak to boost your brain power. Sounds wild, right? The tools are there, but biology is messier than Hollywood likes to admit. Flipping a genetic switch isn't so simple. It's more like reprogramming an incredibly complex operating system. Still, clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats is proof that science fiction is creeping closer to science fact. Whether it's curing diseases, rewriting the rules of aging, or maybe even activating the X gene, one thing's for sure. We're living in a world where the line between natural evolution and engineered innovation gets blurrier every day. The question isn't just what we can do, it's whether we're ready for the consequences when the science catches up to our imaginations. Superhumans might not be fantasy for much longer. Superpowers or super problems. Thinking about signing up for a clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats makeover to get Hulk-level strength or night vision like a superhero? Not so fast. While the idea of genetic upgrades sounds like a dream, the reality is more of a high-stakes gamble. Human traits, especially the complicated ones, like intelligence or athletic ability, aren't powered by a single gene. They're influenced by a web of genes working together, and tinkering with one could throw the whole system into chaos. Imagine trying to tweak your brain for genius-level IQ only to accidentally make yourself allergic to sunlight. Oops. And let's not forget the ethical roller coaster. Who gets to decide which traits are worth enhancing? Will rich folks design their kids to be superhuman while the rest of us stay regular? Welcome to the dystopian world of genetic inequality, where the gap between the haves and have-nots might turn into the gap between the super-enhanced and the unmodified. Then there's the big philosophical question. If we engineer ourselves to be better, do we risk losing what makes us human in the first place? Clustered regularly interspace short palindromic repeats might be the key to unlocking incredible possibilities, but it also comes with a Pandora's box of moral dilemmas. For now, maybe it's best to stick with good old-fashioned effort and the occasional superhero daydream. Nature's X-Men, real-life genetic anomalies. What if I told you real-life mutants are walking among us, quietly blending in sans capes, spandex, or dramatic superhero poses? These people aren't leaping tall buildings or stopping trains with a single hand, but their genetic quirks are straight out of a comic book. Take, for example, the lucky few with ultra-dense bones, yet their skeletons are practically unbreakable. A tumble down the stairs or a bad skateboarding wipeout. No big deal when you're built like a human tank. Then there are the memory maestros with hyperthymesia. While the rest of us are frantically searching for our keys or forgetting anniversaries, these folks can recall every moment of their lives with stunning detail. They could even tell you what they wore to a birthday party 15 years ago, or how many pepperonis were on that one slice of pizza they had. But nature doesn't stop there, it gets even wilder. Some people carry a rare mutation that makes them immune to certain diseases, essentially making them walking scientific mysteries. Think of them as nature's answer to invulnerability. Sure, they're not firing lasers from their eyes or flying, but their abilities are still mind-blowingly impressive. Nature's been rolling its evolutionary dice for millions of years, and sometimes it hits the jackpot. These real-life X-Men might not have a blockbuster budget or an origin story narrated by Stan Lee, but their powers remind us that the extraordinary often hides in plain sight. The ethical labyrinth. Imagine a world where designing your child's genes is as simple as ordering your morning coffee tall, dark, brilliant, and maybe throw in some athletic prowess for good measure. Tempting, right? But beneath this shiny prospect lies a moral roller coaster we're barely strapped in for. If we start editing DNA to create the perfect generation, what happens to those who can't afford the luxury of a genetic upgrade? Do we unintentionally create a society of genetic haves and have-nots, where privilege is literally written into your DNA? This isn't just about giving everyone perfect eyesight or an Einstein-level IQ. It's about the essence of what makes us human. If we start tinkering with nature, do we risk losing the beautiful randomness that defines our individuality? Are we ready to crown ourselves as the editors of evolution? Or are we opening the door to a dystopian future where your genes dictate your destiny and your worth? Sure, the idea of eliminating genetic diseases or unlocking superhuman potential sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi blockbuster. But every blockbuster has a dark twist, and this one might come with the price of our humanity. The line between scientific progress and ethical chaos is razor thin, and standing on the edge of this genetic revolution is both exhilarating and terrifying. Balancing ambition with responsibility is not just important, it's essential. If we don't tread carefully, our pursuit of perfection could create a world that's far from it. Let's ensure that this brave new world uplifts everyone, not just those lucky enough to hold a golden ticket in the genetic lottery. After all, true progress is about building a future where innovation benefits humanity as a whole, not just the few who can afford it. Thanks for diving into this wild ride of science, superpowers, and the future of humanity. If you love geeking out with us, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe for more mind-blowing content, and share this with someone who's ready to unleash their inner mutant. Let's keep exploring the extraordinary together.